Hello everyone, how you going? Welcome back to some more Heritage Minutes, one of my favourite parts of the week where, like I always say, we just get to check out 1 minute movies from all of Canada's history. So we're starting out with Pauline Vania. I don't really know.
I've asked that some milk be brought to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you think we'll get an answer today?
I'm doing everything in my power.
Mrs. Vanier, your husband would like to see you.
Our borders will remain closed.
But this is madness. The government doesn't understand the seriousness of the situation. All those people waiting, we are their only hope. We have to help them now. Their life is in danger.
Pauline, you won't be able to change Canada's immigration policy all alone.
Mr. Kramer, your visa. This time you've got it.
You remember me?
Of course. Your mother was holding a baby.
My sister, Anne.
Wow.
And your mother?
Governor General Georges Vanier and his wife Pauline were strongly committed to the welfare of refugees and throughout their lives continue their tireless efforts on behalf of humanitarian causes.
Well, you can't have a Heritage Minute without having a roller coaster of emotions, can you? Man, that was a hell of a thing. I had no idea where that was going to be going. I expected it to kind of be a good outcome halfway through because they were saying, oh, well, you can't, you'd never be able to just change Canada's immigration laws. And I'm not sure if when she handed the green card, Canadian embassy, so does she work for the government? Did she change any laws or did she just help people actually just get what they came for in terms of all these refugees just trying to get any kind of, I guess there's a green card. I guess Canada also uses a green card. But then like I was saying, it was just a roller coaster of emotions. Because all of a sudden it went from, oh cool, you actually just finally you're let in, it's a great thing, to, oh, your mother didn't make it. And I have no idea or context as to why or how that would have been, considering, I mean, she was obviously here in the beginning, she was holding a baby. I mean, it does say Paris 1939. Oh, okay, so these guys were missionaries, that makes sense. I don't think they said that, or maybe they did and I just missed it. There's always so much information in Heritage Minutes, you were just bound to miss something along the line. But then I guess, what is it, 1949 in the Canadian embassy back in Paris again. So I guess they stayed there, which I didn't pick up the first time because I was too busy kind of watching the content instead of reading it. That's often the case. And then all of a sudden I'm just not connecting the dots about time periods and just where they are located. Either way, I guess one thing that I certainly came away from this video knowing was just how dedicated these people were for all of these refugees. They stayed in Paris, I can only assume for that entire time. Just, I guess he said, oh, you'll never be able to change the immigration laws and regulations. But that didn't stop them. It didn't change their response in any negative way. They just went about it doing the same thing, just trying to help people just escape from these crisis situations. And I guess sometimes that is all that is needed. Just two people that are obviously quite high up in the grand scheme of things, but two people that are just very driven on a very particular subject and they just get things done for the good of all people. But anyway, now moving on to our second one, we have Mona Parsons.
No. I'm telling you, I was in a German prison camp for 4 years.
What's going on here, Sergeant?
Claims she's a Canadian, sir, but
She could be a German spy. What's your name, lady?
Mona Parsons.
Mona Parsons? From Wolfville. It's me, Harry Foster. Gosh, what happened to you?
I was in the resistance. The Gestapo got me.
Darauf besteht die Todesstrafe durch Erschießen.
What?
Meine Herren, guten Morgen.
Dear lady, you have great courage. I recommend you appeal the sentence.
Living in Holland during the war, Mona Parsons had helped downed Allied airmen get back to Britain.
I will escape.
And she did escape. And back in Nova Scotia after the war, she married General Harry Foster.
What? There is so much to unpack right there. That is insane. Even if it was just the kind of start story where she was just rescued, or I don't know what you'd call it, found, captured, or I guess it's not really captured, but things are just happening in the beginning with these other guys and then manages to meet the person that she knew. Even if that was the entire story and then through that she was able to give a little bit of information, I'd go, wow, that's an incredible Heritage Minute. But she ended up being captured by the Gestapo, I believe, and then she just went on to help British pilots get back home and a million things. I mean, now that I know that she was trying to help people get back home, I'm curious to kind of re-listen to this.
Todesstrafe durch Erschießen.
Right. Because I'm just confused. Is that in relation to her, or is that in relation to someone she's trying to help get back home? I can only assume that the way she's standing there and no one else is really in focus, but then she goes on to speak to them, but then this other guy kind of goes, wow, you have incredible courage. I think you should actually appeal it. Like, how do you appeal something like that? It's ridiculous. I honestly didn't know that there was any kind of appeal process, let alone the fact that you might actually win it and then go on to just kind of, I guess, live a life of service before you get rescued by these guys. And then, like she says at the end, you know, I will escape, I'm gonna do all this, and then she ended up basically living happy ever after. Like, wait, what is this story? I mean, I do want to scroll down and read the description, because I have seen that the descriptions have been giving me a bit. Mona Parsons, a partisan World War II Allied agent in the Netherlands, escapes execution. Wow, okay. She meets her future husband, who confirms her nationality to Canadian forces liberating the nation. Man, that would just be insane. I mean, I guess you got to meet somehow, but either way, the fact that you meet someone on the battlefield or however they met that you knew, I guess I wonder what the chances of that really is, because obviously you're just going to have people coming from all over the place just to serve their country, but I wonder what the actual chances of meeting someone that you knew from childhood and then going on to marry them, especially. It's not like, oh well, yeah, okay, I can verify you and then get on out of here. No, she went on to marry the bugger. So I guess my main question is just, how do they know that this happened?
I recommend you appeal the sentence.
I can only assume, given it's the Heritage Minutes, they're very in-depth and very detailed and very researched, that there was some kind of war log or diary, journal entry, something like that, just to be able to prove this. Because as I was saying, I just still can't get over the fact that it's even a thing that you can appeal, let alone the fact that her sentence wasn't changed to something else, or even if she was just sent away. No, she seemingly was able to kind of work with someone, I don't know who in the end, but someone to just be able to get the British Allied flight, or what way they pilots home. And so I guess, like all Heritage Minutes end up doing, really now I'm just curious about what happened to her during the war, after the war, where is she now, kind of thing. But anyway, now moving on to our third one, we have Andrew Minarski.
You tail gunners. Minarski, Brophy, get some sleep. We have a mission in exactly 6 hours.
Whoa. Good night, sir.
I can't hold it, man! Everybody bail now! Brophy!
It's no use, Minarski. The damn thing's jammed.
Minarski, jump! That's an order! I gotta get Brophy clear!
Jump, for God's sake, before it explodes!
Good night, sir.
Tail gunner Brophy, trapped in his turret, miraculously survived the crash, to tell of the heroism of Andrew Minarski, VC, who died of his burns.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, it's just constant roller coasters. That is just not how I expected that to end. I was going, oh man, that's a hell of a story. But then it flipped on me entirely. I just have no idea how that begins to make sense. How did the gunner survive the plane crash? Like, it was a plane crash, and especially in, I can only imagine, World War II, wasn't it? Yeah, a young Canadian gunner, Andrew Minarski, stays behind to save his friend in a flaming Lancaster bomber and dies in the attempt 1944. I mean, I guess we can obviously see that they're quite good friends right here, but I feel like the entire kind of drinking, smoking thing 6 hours before a mission probably isn't kind of, I guess, peak performance, if you want to call it that. And I am curious to learn more about the entire pilot situation. Like, is there 3 of them on board and the others have jumped out, or how has that worked? Because is there 2 gunners and his friend is trapped in a gunner position and he is as well? I don't really know the entire schematics of a plane to be able to know how he's jammed in that little door and then where Andrew's come from in relation to the pilot. But no, I still can't get over the fact that the gunner survived the plane crash, but poor Andrew just, I guess, jumped but then perished in the flames, which means that he was just trying to get his friend out of there. It didn't even matter that he was literally on fire for, I don't know, minutes, seconds, it doesn't really matter. You're on fire, and then it's just got to him in the end. So given that he just said tail gunner, I can only assume that there's a front gunner and a tail gunner position, and they're just at opposite ends of the plane, just keeping everyone at bay, or however that entire thing works. But then seeing that they had this tiny little hatch to kind of squeeze out through, I can only imagine that's not the greatest design, and I would like to know why it is such a tiny hatch, because you wouldn't want to be too big, and especially considering it jammed, I feel as though that kind of defeats the entire purpose of the door. Just get rid of it, or I don't even know why it's there in the first place. And I guess the most tragic thing about this entire clip is that both of them were never going to survive. Throughout this entire clip, it was either one or the other, and it flipped on its head last minute, completely caught me off guard. I was going, hang on a second, how has that even been the case? And I mean, as tragic as it is, I guess it's good in a way, as the events can be recounted and hopefully Andrew can be compensated or awarded some kind of medal of bravery for doing what he did. But like I was saying, it would just be such a weird situation where you survived and your friend was trying to to help you survive, and they ended up just perishing. Oh man, war is just so complicated like that. But anyway, now moving on to our fourth one, we have Jacques' plante. I probably butchered it.
Here we go.
You can't do this, Jacques. It's never been done before.
Mr. Blake.
You can't see down with that thing.
Mr. Blake!
Jacques, what?
They're coming.
Hold them up. Find something. Jacques, I'm telling you for the last time.
Are the Canadians finished? Is plant coming back on the ice? Come on, give us something, will you?
Please,
How many stitches?
Gentlemen, please.
Hey, Tommy, you got something to say to the people?
On November 1st, 1959, Jacques Plante of the Montreal Canadiens broke with tradition.
You're a brave man, Mr. Plant, standing up to him like that.
And changed the face of hockey forever.
A helmet came out. Look at that. 100% changing the game for the better, because man, I just cannot imagine the amount of injuries. I mean, this kind of slow motion puck through the air would have been incredible. Look at this. I don't even know how they got that shot or what the hell's going on there. Then you just get to see that. I mean, I'm fairly sure a puck isn't that big. Is it just me? I don't really know. I don't think I've ever actually seen a real puck, but surely it's not that big. I thought it was like a quarter of that size. I mean, either way, it was just absolutely going to hurt. And so, man, I don't blame him for needing to go getting stitched up, but it's pretty incredible that he went back on the ice. I mean, it gets his ice hockey, so everyone knows that those guys are tough. And I guess judging by this, did he break his nose, or maybe he had a fractured eye socket, and so he went back out on the ice? And so I don't blame him one bit. I honestly commend him for just going, oh yeah, you know what, maybe I should actually just be wearing a little bit of a mask so I don't just have this happen to the other eye, or I don't even know what, just completely have no head by the end of the game. I mean, I can only imagine, given the fact that all the reporters are coming down and everything, it would have made major news lines like, oh, look at this guy, he's wearing a helmet, what a random person, why would he be doing that? There's no need for that. Get him off the ice. If he can't play tough, then he's not deserving to be out there. And then you see obviously the ice hockey players now, and they're just fully padded up, and for good reason. It is basically just a rounded bullet that it can fly through the air, and I guess in this case hit you in the head or hit you in the eye socket, let alone everywhere else it can hit you. And especially just being goalie, you know, the amount of injuries those guys would have sustained before any kind of decent padding came out, and I'm sure they still sustain a hell of a lot of injuries, but at least hopefully it's a little bit more, I don't know, padded and protected, and so they get more bruised instead of cut open. But no, like I was saying, I just absolutely commend him for going, you know what, this is just dumb. Why the hell are we doing this? We literally have the ability, we have the face mask, it's offered to you. I guess that's exactly what she's doing now. Maybe it's in some kind of, oh no, that's a hat. It looks like, wait, that was so weird. It looked like a perfect kind of face mask. But anyway, so I'm not entirely sure where it came from, but he just was able to be the bigger person. Just go, oh, let's just not be doing this dumb thing anymore. And then it literally, in the little thing after, it shows that he cops it again. Look at this, bang, basically straight in the head again. And so you'd be going, well, there we go, point proven, 100% block ratio. I'm absolutely glad that I'm wearing it, because it was not fun just copying it to the eye and going through and getting stitches. And I would rather just keep my face as intact as possible, please. I mean, I can only imagine it's just some random little piece of plastic generally molded to a face shape, but hey, that kind of high density plastic is so resilient. It would just do wonders. Like I said, you might be bruising and you'll be sore, but at least it won't cut you open and just break things. And so I just want to listen to this part again, because I don't really know why he's asking, or Jacques, I'm telling you for the last time what's going on in the background there. But obviously, like I said, all the reporters are going, hey, just how many stitches? When's he coming back on the ice? What's going on? Like, they expect him back on the ice, let alone the fact that he might have just had his head taken off or anything like that. They don't really know what conditions he's in beside it, because he got stretchered in, I'm fairly sure. And then all these guys are just coming running down with their cameras and notebooks, just going, oh, come on now, when's he getting back in the ice? Like, that's the kind of ridiculous level that you're playing at, and the kind of expectations that are put on you. And so I don't blame it for being a little bit of a taboo isn't the right word, but that kind of mentality around just, oh, why would you wear a face mask? When in reality, it really doesn't do anything to hinder you, but it can just make you feel invincible in comparison to what you were when you were lying on the stretcher.
Jacques Plante of the Montreal Canadiens broke with tradition.
Yeah. You're a brave man, Mr. Plant, standing up to him like that.
And changed the face of hockey forever.
Yeah, I actually just realized that the narrator says change the face of hockey forever. That's a great line in terms of it's so direct, but I just want to know, because is this guy arguing with him about wearing it? Is that what he wants? He doesn't want him to wear it perhaps, and so he's going, Jacques, I've told you for the last time, please don't wear it. And that's why he kind of then storms out, because he makes up his mind and decides to wear it. Maybe the description will actually tell me a Montreal goalie changes hockey's convention by wearing his invention. Oh wow, it was his invention. Oh, that's completely different. I would have thought that it would have been something that someone invented, but just no one wanted to use, you know, as for the kids to keep them safe or something like that. But really, if he invented it, that's even more impressive. I mean, I do wonder then it's not going to be molded plastic unless he works at a plastic factory, but either way, it's impressive that he managed to make it. But I guess there isn't too many other better ways to say it besides what he said. You know, you were a brave man for standing up to him, whoever he is, the regulator, the coach, the manager, whatever it may be, the guy that is clearly just against the face mask. He just went, no, I'm going to look out for myself, thanks. I've made this thing and I've just been postponing using it for whatever reason, I guess because it's deemed taboo or whatever you want to call it. But if I was wearing it, then I wouldn't have a broken eye socket or a broken nose or any kind of injury. I just can cop it to the head, hopefully not all day, but just a couple of times, and I'm not going to be just in the hospital. And I can only imagine there were just so many people and goalies and players and kids and families and parents, whatever you want to call it, just so many people that are so glad that he just broke with tradition, went, nah, stuff this, I'm sick of getting injured, we just need something that is better and protects us because it's, why not? And so I can only imagine over the course of what, just over 62 years, he would have saved a lot of injuries and maybe even just a couple lives. And so like with any Heritage Minute, really, we've had plenty today. Obviously the first three were very war focused and I guess World War II focused, but they all kind of cover different things, and this one is just another person, where they were all individuals that just changed the name of the game, whether it be war or hockey, forever. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithm things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then make sure to check out just any other ones I've done. Also, make sure to go check out all the original videos down in the description below, or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.